All right, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash, double honors, and to my elders, my apostles, the great millstone, which are the men that rule well, the men that taught us His truth, peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect as always. And Lord's will, the title will be Less Freedom in the Name of Safety. All right, just to double check this mic. All right. So, what inspired this lesson is pretty much just what's going on right now in Washington, D.C., and it's just a shadow of things to come. All right, to the rest of America and a major city near you. All right, you have Donald Trump, sending out the National Guard, and this time they're going to be sent out armed, because a week prior, or really this kind of like this week technically, right? Nothing but a few days ago, really. Yeah, it's safe to say last week. They sent out the FBI, CIA, and ICE. And now you know, basically, if you're out, in DC, you out loitering, the police gonna send you on your way, man. They gonna make you either go back into your house or they're gonna arrest you. All right. And if you're homeless, they kicking you out of the town, man. All right. And all this was done because of allegedly it's because this dude, I forgot this dude involved with crypto, tried to save some woman and he was beat up by thugs in the process of it because he was trying to save the woman from being mugged by thugs, which we know what that really means. It's really just Esau pointing the finger at the tribes. And he's doing exactly what, he's doing the things that Nero would have did. It's kind of funny because, Nero burned Rome and blamed the Israelites. And, Esau, what's Donald Trump doing? He's causing havoc and blaming the Israelites. Because when he's talking about thugs, who is he talking about? When he says he's going to clean up DC, who is he talking about? All right, he ain't talking about just the crackheads. He's talking about Jake, as a whole. You see? So I want to start off in Isaiah 19 and just hit the points. Really, ain't nothing extra to really talk about. It's we're bringing out the same precepts because that's the season we're in. We're in that season, the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, man. And hey, man, that time is really here. It's not a joke. All right, so I'm gonna start off Isaiah 19 and 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts, right? And that's exactly what you see happen. Salakia had a little interruption. But yeah, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. So that's exactly what's going on right now, man. This guy, DJ Trump, is fulfilling this. Because he's being that cruel Lord. Okay? He's doing things that don't benefit the people at all. He's being cruel, and he's only going to get worse. If this is who the Lord wants to use to really bring down the hammer on Jake and really punish Jake, and he's doing it right now, man, on a low level, man. We got brothers in DC, that live in DC that talk about, they're arresting Jake that's out drinking and smoking. To quote unquote clean up the city, and that's why I titled it "Less Freedom in the Name of Safety." Because eventually it ain't just gonna be well, obviously it's gonna, big time the tribes, but it ain't just gonna be the tribes. At some point, everybody are gonna have the rifles pointed at them and being told to go inside and you can't be outside. You- Salakia, these are the things that are coming to a city near you. And it's all prophecy. That's a beautiful thing. Is that this was all prophesied. The Heavenly Father told us, when we read, because I'm going to read 2 Ezra 16 and 15. I'm going to go into both chapters. When you read those scriptures, you have to realize that that season is among us. That's not something that's 10, 15 years away. No, no, no. We're days away at this point, Lord willing. From what we see happening, man. I mean, shoot, I have an article I'm gonna do a video on talking about the exact same topic, and I'm gonna bring out the exact same precepts because that's the season that we're in. We're in a time of war. We're not in a time of, you know. It's funny. I asked my coworkers today. Well, they really actually asked. They were like, "Oh, I can't wait for the stock market to crash because I'm gonna invest and become super rich when it shoots back up." And it's like, man, you guys really think this place is gonna continue? That's not the case. That's not written you know. But what the point is that people ain't gonna see this coming, man. They don't realize that what's happening is done by design, and the elites they want to crash it and burn it, and take out a millions of people, and stay in rulership forever. But that's not gonna happen. But what they're gonna try, they're gonna try it. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, right? Because his time is appointed. He has bounds that he cannot pass. But he knows that he has to get working right now if he wants to try to fulfill his master plan. But the truth is he's not going to. Really, he's just puffed up with pride. When you read Romans 9, you know how Pharaoh's heart was hardened, to do what he did, and be so cruel to the Israelites just so that the Lord could show his power when he destroyed him. And that's the same thing he's doing with Esau. He's making Esau become a madman, all right, try to take over the whole world, try to chip everybody, just to bring him down and show him that he's nothing but a man. But nonetheless, the wrath is still coming. He's still going to come down with great wrath. So that's why it's important for us to remember that, to stay prayed up, because, like I titled it, man, less freedom in the name of safety. He's going to bring you a problem. He's going to create a problem. All right. And he's going to also create the solution for you. They're already talking about wearables openly. That ain't something you find on alternative news media and all that. That's something you can see on your local news station. With RFK, he talking about wearables and things like that. That leads into what? MOTB is just gradualism. And that great wrath, a part of that great wrath is him, physically coming down to harm Israel. These are the things that's coming, man. Because what? Esau already did it on a low level with this dude, Big Boss, or whatever his name is, that got beat up by some thugs allegedly. Because there ain't no video of it, nothing, man. You know, Esau just making shit up so that he has an excuse to use his military. DJ Trump is just a madman. You know, he's going mad with power, and what we see happening is him moving hard, man. He ain't playing no games out here. Okay. This is second Ezra 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection, which is an uprising, upon those that fear the Lord, which is talking about Israel. You see, right now this is happening on a low level. And also the Northern Kingdom persecution, man. Shit, just the other day in California, in San Bernardino, these a father with his son and his son-in-law or brother-in-law, Salakia, um, they were on their way home from work. They got pulled over at a liquor store by men with masks, and they looked like police, but they had masks, and they were forcing them, hey, oh, step out the car. They didn't even ask. They were asking for ID, but they were telling him to step out the car. And Jake didn't want to step out the car, so they cracked his window and shot at his truck. That's an uprising upon those that fear the Lord. Ultimately, really, is the elect that this is talking about, because because it talks about deliverance when you read further down. But nonetheless, the insurrection is upon all of Israel, because what, Jeremiah 30. And I didn't grab it for this precept, I didn't grab that precept for this lineup of scriptures I have, but that applies as well. Jeremiah 30, which is Jacob's trouble, trouble upon the nation of Israel. All right, here in America, man. All right, hey, that's a part of it, man. We're in those stages already, man. That's persecution. There right now, there was Israelites that have been arrested, and no due process, and probably some sent off to die already. You know, but verse 71, Ezra 16:71, they shall be like mad men, sparing none. That sounds just like Revelation 12 and 12. They're gonna bring down great wrath, because you know that he hath but a short time. You know, it says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Right. Because that's what he's going to do. And these are the things that's coming, man. See, Trump going to call on the troops. They might not do nothing right now. They might not hurt nobody. They might arrest a few people, maybe tussle a little bit. But at some point, they're going to be ordered to shoot and kill on sight, all in the name of safety. Oh, there's too much crime in DC, because Donald Trump talking about he want to clean up every major city, not just DC. He want to send the National Guard to New York, Detroit, Oakland. I don't think he said Detroit yet, but I know he said Oakland for sure. Which Oakland is a shit show out there, man. You know, I know some family members out there, man. It's a hellhole out there, man. They closing grocery stores because of how high the crime is. The grocery stores can't even stay open. More people are stealing than people buying. You know. So, in the name of safety, Trump is gonna lock this bitch down, and he's gonna start killing Israelites. That's what we can foresee. All right. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Right, because the elect is going to be saved out of all of it. All right. At the end of the 24, the elect won't be harmed. All right. The elect is going to be delivered. The scriptures say to not be afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. Those are the things that we're banking on. All right, because we're gonna be here, we're gonna witness this stuff, but we ain't gonna be involved. Okay. I'm gonna end it with 2 15. I'm gonna read from verse 14 down to 19. It says, "Woe to the world, and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." And that's the time frame that we're gonna be in, because when the troops come, they're gonna meet some resistance. I had some more coworkers talking about, and I was letting them talk. I was acting clueless. I just wanted to see what they was gonna say. They was just having a conversation about, oh, there's gonna be a civil war because when the troops come in, they're gonna accidentally kill somebody, and then it's gonna be all out war. Which is very true. Ain't gonna be no actual war like that, but it's very true, man. The scriptures say the Egyptian will be set against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother and against his neighbor. So we're gonna see things like that. We're gonna see, we're gonna hear about or see shootouts between the National Guard and quote unquote civilians, because they're gonna eventually one of them is gonna get scared, because this is just National Guard. They're gonna get scared, shoot somebody, and they're gonna retaliate. Someone's gonna retaliate for that person, right? But it says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." The modern day sword is the gun. So you're gonna see people killing each other, man. You know? All right, verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? So it doesn't matter if the National Guard comes in, man. There's only so much you can do to people before they start resisting and fighting back. All right? There's only so much, you could tell somebody, hey, go back to your house. Hey, man, some people ain't going to take that shit. That's what it says here. It says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes," meaning those in authority, they're not going to care about what they got to say. All right? "In the course of their actions shall stand in their power," meaning they're going to do what they want to do. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." That's martial law. That's warlike law, meaning they're going to be checkpoints. Shoot, I can see that happen in DC soon, man. You know, Last week it was pretty quiet out there, man. We had some derelicts here and there, but for the most part, most of the crackheads was gone. Most of the derelicts that come by the camp, they're gone. All the homeless ones, they're gone. You know, hey, Trump is doing shit, man. He's sewing shit up, man. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Right. That's exactly what's gonna happen, man. The cities are gonna be troubled, man. The city's gonna be the worst place to be in, man. They're gonna be famines, ain't gonna be no food at the grocery store, you know? People gonna panic buy, they're gonna purchase things because they're panicking. Oh, they're gonna lock this place down. I need to go buy all the food that I can, you know? It says, "And men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." And that's exactly what's coming next. Because once it's a lockdown, they're not gonna give a shit about, oh, I gotta go to the grocery store. Nah, they don't want to hear that. Go back to your house. When the National Guard is out, because it ain't just gonna be DC. Soon it's gonna be every major city. You know, you have to live out in the middle of nowhere to be away from that, if that. Because really, yeah, because really they can only lock down cities. They can't go and lock down whole areas of wilderness. It's too hard. They don't have enough manpower for that. And America is very vast for them to even try to do that. But they're most definitely going to be locking down the major cities, man. It's going to be hell out here. And this is what? Because of the lack of bread for great tribulation. Because this is all going to happen. Esau is going to cause these things, what? In the name of safety, man. All right? So, hey, man, that's all I wanted to bring up to spirit. I pray and hope this was exhorting and edifying, mostly edifying. The exhortation really only came from like one pre. But hey, we know the precepts, man. We know to be comforted by the words of the Lord. But we have to be warned of these things, man. There's gonna be less freedom in the name of safety, man. Esau gonna lock this shit down. All right. But hey, that's all I wanted to bring out. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakadash, double honors to my elders and apostles, great millstone, which are the men that rule well, the men that taught us this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to thee, like as always. Shalom.